Hello, this is Jen Borgen from the Napa County Agricultural Commissioner's Office. I'd like to take a few moments to discuss emergency preparedness for you, your family, and your animals. We all remember that earthquake in 2014, even if you didn't live in Napa. But what did we learn from it? Did you prepare an emergency kit for you, your family, and your animals? How about those 2017 fires? Did we learn from that? Did you prepare afterwards? How about 2020? The memories of last year should be fresh in all of our minds. Needless to say, if you haven't done so already, now is the time to start planning. I'm going to show you today how to make an emergency plan and how to make emergency kits for people and animals, and what resources are available to you from the County of Napa and other organizations. An emergency plan is an action plan. It means you're going to do something. And the first thing you're going to do is go somewhere. So where are you going to go? The entire family needs to know where to meet up and how they're planned to get there. You might end up in a shelter, but there can be better alternatives than that if you think ahead. Try to contact family or friends that live well outside the disaster zone ahead of time. Perhaps they can take you in, and hopefully they can take in your animals as well. How are you going to communicate? Everybody's got to know how to use text messaging, because we know now that phone calls just don't go through during a disaster. Text messages do. And if you haven't already, be sure to go to countyofnapa.org to learn how to sign up for NIXL alerts so that you keep in the know during an emergency. Have all your contacts listed in everybody's phone, not just yours, including those emergency contacts that you plan to go to in the event of an emergency. And also, of course, how to access help from emergency agencies. Don't forget the animals. Where are they going to go? Companion animals are pretty easy. Dogs, cats, rabbits, even birds can usually just go with us in our cars. But be sure to have ID tags. Be sure that they have crates and leashes tagged and ready. And I highly recommend that all animals be microchipped, including large animals. People microchip horses, goats, llamas. All large animals should be microchipped as well. Speaking of those large animals, some very, very important things to consider. The large animals are a very difficult component of disaster preparation and what happens during the actual disaster. First, do you have a trailer? And if you have one, are those animals going to load up under stress? Can you load them? Can someone else load them if they have to? That's an important thing to consider. And then, of course, you might have what some people call a pasture ornament. You don't have a trailer. That horse just stands outside in the pasture and his only job is to look pretty, perhaps. Well, try to find a friend or a neighbor that might have the equipment to help you out in a disaster. Maybe they have a trailer with room for yours. If that's the case, make sure that you train to transport. And where are those horses going to go? For me, my horse is going to go to a ranch in Sacramento that I already have a plan for, and vice versa. If Sacramento has a problem, those horses are coming here. So make sure you try to find a place ahead of time. The key to this is to try to organize and help yourself. But if all else fails, perhaps you're out of town, perhaps your neighbors can't help. There is help from other organizations, and I'm going to talk about that in just one moment. Keep in mind that your plan might change. People and pets can come and go, certainly. Maybe grandma and her chihuahua is coming to live with you now. Maybe you now have 2 cats instead of 1, and so you're going to need 2 crates. And don't forget that microchip for the new guy. Maybe your beloved old dog has developed some difficulty walking and is going to need some special equipment to go longer distances or to unfamiliar places. Pretty hard to calf carry an 80-pound dog for very far. So please keep that in mind. You're going to have to reevaluate your plan all the time. All right, so your homework assignment in brief is to create a go bag for all the people in your family and the animals. And I'm going to show you how to do that later on in the program here. Form a plan with your family and your neighbors. Reach out to those neighbors. What kind of equipment do they have? What's their plan? The neighbors together can form a much stronger coalition than all the families working independently. So it's really a good idea to reach out and talk about it. And that's what I mean by preparing in every way that you can. Make those contacts and get that equipment prepared now. And of course, as we just stated, review that plan and modify it when you need to. And it's not a bad idea to hold a drill on red flag days. Call those people that are in your contact list to remember that they're the people you're going to be calling when a disaster strikes. Make sure that they can still take you if need be, and hopefully take all or some of those animals. Make sure that your kids know what to do. What if they're in school? Do they know where to go right away? All of that needs to be arranged well beforehand with contingency plans. If all else fails for you in terms of your animals and you are unable to help yourself, the Napa Community Animal Response Team can be there for you. This is an all-volunteer group that, when activated by the county, can deploy and assist you in ways that you might not have known were available to you. Napa CART has lots of trained volunteers and lots of equipment that can help evacuate large and small animals. And for those animals that have to shelter in place because evacuation was either unwise or impossible, teams can go up and provide food and water for them. Napa CART will also set up shelters for large animals immediately upon activation and will either assist the county animal shelter or set up an adjunct shelter for those small animals. For Napa CART, it's best to go to their website at napacart.org. And there you're going to find great suggestions for your animal go bag, both from Napa CART and from many other organizations such as veterinary associations, and lots more information on general preparedness regarding animals for all types and kinds of animals. Most importantly, there is a number that should be in your contact list. 707-732-1555 is the hotline number. And from there, Napa CART dispatches teams to help you if you are unable to help yourself. Also, the Napa County Agricultural Commissioner's Office has resources that can help. The County of Napa.org website has tons of information on its emergency page, but for information specific to the Agricultural Commissioner's Office or to animals, click on Departments and then click on the Ag Commissioner's header to locate much more useful information before and during a disaster. We've got links that are helpful to ag growers and producers. We have help for creating a family and animal go bag, meaning there's lists to help you discover what you might need in those bags, and also information about the Ag Pass program, formerly known as the Ag Verification Process. I hope this has helped. You can always review it. Just remember to start your homework today.